What's up, .NET developers? Do you have some data that you want to quickly display on your web pages, but you don't want to add some third-party tools or third-party packages to be able to style and sort that data in a really effective way? Well, in this video, I'm going to go over a new feature coming out in .NET 8, which is Blazor QuickGrid, right here on learning .NET in C# with Isaac. Hey folks, Isaac Levin here with another edition of What's New in .NET and C#. And we've gone over a couple of really cool topics and things that are coming out in .NET 8 and C# 12, which comes out in November of 2023 as a part of .NET Conf. And today I want to talk about something a little different. So if we're building applications today, like typical line of business or forms over data applications, we more than likely need to have a grid, right? Like some way to show data from either a database, file, for instance, some external source, what have you. And there are tons of options out there for if .NET developers. We can use miscellaneous third-party vendors like DevExpress, Telric, so on and so forth. You can find tons of controls that are available created by the developer community, and there's tons and tons of those out there. But what if you just have a simple need to have a grid that has paging, sorting, all this kind of the typical experience that you have with a grid, but it's built into ASP.NET? Well, that's what I want to talk about today. So there's this new experimental project called QuickGrid. So let's hop over to my screen and show more about QuickGrid. So there's a really high-level doc about QuickGrid, which was launched in .NET, or is launched as an experimental project in .NET 7. It's going to be fully supported in .NET 8 again, which comes out in November of 2023. So this quick doc, it kind of talks about at a high level how to add QuickGrid to your project, how to configure it, and so on and so forth. And this is a really good resource, and I have another resource at the end to show. But let's just take a look at a really simple example of how we could use QuickGrid to really quickly create an experience where we want to show some data on a screen. So let me open up Visual Studio. So I'm inside Visual Studio, and as you can see, I have a simple Blazor WebAssembly project. So this is .NET 8. And then I'm using the Internet Movie Database library. So that's an open source library that you can get on NuGet. So if folks know much about me, they know I love movies and I love showing demos that have some movie stuff in there. So let's just do this. So let's hop over and open up our Solution Explorer and go to the index.razor file. So inside of here, it's basically a modification of our fetch data example that we see in the Blazor template that comes when you first create a new project. But I modified it for my particular case. So let's scroll down here really quick, and nothing really crazy. I'm getting an API key that I have stored in configuration, and then getting the list of the most popular movies, and then I'm creating that result into an iQueryable so I can do some different types of querying on it. So that's really simple. And then if I look at how I'm actually creating or rendering this particular user interface, I just have some conditional logic to check if the movie is not null, check if the movie count is above 0. And then I have this very typical table with, a bunch of headers and rows and things like that, right? And inside of the table, I'm looping over the list of movies and then showing some data about the movies. So if I run this really quick, let me just click this run button, and this is going to open up a page, and it's going to show a really simple, basically HTML table. Let me just move this over, an HTML table with my list of popular movies in it. So once that's actually done, so as you can see, I have the thumbnail or the poster for that particular movie, as well as the title, and then release date and popularity, and then a vote average. These columns, they don't filter or they don't sort or anything like that. What if I wanted to take the same data set and add more rich data manipulation to, or not data manipulation, but data filtering and data sorting to it? So how I could do that, let me just close out of this, is I could use QuickGrid. And how I get QuickGrid is I can either go through the .NET CLI to add it using .NET Add Package, or I can go to NuGet Package Explorer. So NuGet Package Explorer, and then as you can see here, let's just search for QuickGrid. and then make sure we have that include release button checked, and then it's Microsoft.asp.NET Core.components.QuickGrid. So I install this, and this is going to install that NuGet package, and then I'll need to add a using at the top of my Blazor file, and then after that I will have the ability to add that there. So let's just scroll up and go here, using Microsoft.asp.NET Core.components.QuickGrid. Right? So super simple. And then, after that, I can start to build out I can build out my grid. So the first thing let's do is let's just comment out all of this lovely here. So now I don't have anything in here. But what if I want to, let me just make sure I have everything set up. And then I'm going to start to put together a very, very simple example of using QuickGrid. Where's my mouse? All right, so let's just do this. And so what the first thing I want to do is I want to create a QuickGrid tag, and then that QuickGrid tag, I'm specifying the items. So items is kind of the data source for it. And in this particular case, it's movies. So movies is the same data set that we used previously. And then there's a handful of other things that I want to add. So I want to add that poster. And how you add posters, you can use what's called a template column. And that template column, I can specify a title, and that title's going to be poster. And then I'll just line it center. And then inside of here, I want to display an image. So I'm going to specify an image and its source. So with that particular case, I need to provide the URL for the image. So the value is context.backdrop path, and it's the same URL as we have earlier. So let's just close out that template column. And then I want to start adding some additional columns like for the title and things like that. So then now I can do that is with a property column. So property column, property, and then I want to specify the title. And then I want to make sure that this particular column is sortable. And then let's do the date. So property column, property release date. And then I can format it because we want our dates formatted a particular way. So I'm going to have it be just the day, or I'm sorry, the month, the full month, the day, and the year. And that also I want to be sortable. And then let's do another property column. And this property column is for the popularity, and that's going to be sortable as well. And then I'm going to finally add one more property column, and this is for the vote average. All right. So, and then let's just close out our QuickGrid. So now that we have this, we can actually, let's just save this, and then we can run it and see what it looks like. Oh, there were some errors. What's going on here? Oh, I forgot to close out this tag. Sorry about that. All right. So now if we click run here, now this should work. And basically we have a similar looking grid as before, but there's a couple of additional features that we have, right? So firstly, we have our posters, we have our title, release date, format a particular way, and then popularity scores. But we have sorting built into, and I didn't have to add any additional sorting stuff. All I had to do is specify that sortable equals true. So that's really, really cool. And what's really awesome as well, if I open up, go back to my browser, and go to this next column, there's a great website that the .NET team has created, which shows you a lot of really awesome examples of using QuickGrid. So inside of here, like they have this typical get started, but they also have some typical usage where you can specify that and add searching and things like that. That's for filtering. And different options for data sorting, or for data sources and columns and sorting and filtering. And I'm not going to go over all these in detail because I recommend playing around with it because I think that there's some really, really awesome stuff. And that's what I had for us today. So I think one of the best things I would love folks to do is, first off, let me know if you are using QuickGrid already. And if you are, please tell me how you're enjoying the experience. Also, if you like the content that you're seeing here, please share to like, subscribe, follow, send it across to your friends, and put it in the comments if you like it, or if you don't like it. I'd like to know what sort of stuff you like to see here. And again, this is coming out of, it's already out, so you can get the pre-release of the NuGet package. And all you have to have is a .NET 7 application for it to run. And it's going to be officially supported as a part of .NET 8, which again comes out .NET Conf November of 2023. So that's it for me today. Thank you so much and take care.